It's Memorial Day here in Zone 5. And these peonies right here, kind of in the shade, I planted those. I must have planted them 20 years ago. They're still doing just fine. And here in this picture, you can see the peonies in behind here, behind Julie, sitting in the swing holding our grandson. And that picture was taken in 2008. So you can see how they were doing way back then. And they're still plugging along. I think the reason that they don't bloom until late is because there's so much shade. There's this big maple tree next door and a big maple tree in our yard, so they're between two maple trees. That makes this whole bed here just pretty shady, so I plant all the shady stuff over here, all the stuff that likes shade. These eastern red cedar trees I planted here this year seem to be doing okay even in the shade. I should come out and cut down some of these goutweed plants around the trees so they're not shaded so much. This hosta that I just laid on the ground is still growing. Probably could use some water though. These are wild phlox, and these are yellow loosestrife. They're both wildflowers, and I think I like wildflowers more than anything else. This Nanking bush cherry that I planted this year is doing just fine. The other one, struggling away over here in the daylilies. Here it is right there. I should cut back the daylilies around it so it can grow. Boy, these are pretty peonies. I dug these up out of those ones over there a few years back, and they just are doing so much better. Here's another one. That's got new growth on it. It variegated a jugula. Here's this other jugula that I planted. It's growing really good. Got growing through over there. And this here, this is I forget. Goldilocks Creeping Jenny. Wonder what it really is. That's pretty amazing. This was, I forget what it is, put down in the basement and left to dry out and die. I thought it was dead, and I just laid it out here. But I was going to put some annuals in it, and then I didn't get that done. And whatever else was growing in there evidently isn't dead. That's pretty amazing. Here's these peonies that I dug up and divided from those over there on the other side of the yard. They're not blooming yet. But these are. Oh, I sure like that. This is Memorial Day, Zone 5. And at least some of my peonies are blooming. Here's some wild phlox. I like those. I like wildflowers better than the fancy hybridized ones. Oh, look at these daisies. They're doing really good too. This euro that we planted here this spring is doing just fine. I think this is catmint nympha. This is geraniums. Here's some of this yellow loosestrife that's moving pretty good right now. It gets to looking pretty raggedy after it gets done blooming, so I cut it down to the ground. The daisies are here. I mean, the daylilies are getting ready to bloom, and the hardy lilies are getting ready to bloom. The honeysuckle's getting ready to bloom. Well, the rhododendron's just going crazy. The clematis and the climbing roses are doing really good. That's blazed climbing rose. These are all raspberries in through here. With vines growing on them. There's morning glories that grow up this post every year. And they drop their seeds all over the place. Well, I don't know if I did these climbing roses very good the way I tied them up. Because now the leaves are upside down. You think they would... Looks like they need some water. I should water all this stuff. I should water everything. I suppose that'd be a good job to do tomorrow. This looks like it needs some water too. These are moonflowers. These are hardy lilies back here. This is asparagus. This is moonflower, probably bloom in a couple days. And this is our wildflower garden. I need to come out and pull up the things that aren't what I planted. Here's my tomato plants and pepper plants and cucumbers all growing in here with the leaves. I think things are kind of dry though. That's how you can tell if it needs to be watered, if the soil feels dry with your hands. Just like a potted plant. If you put your hands down and the soil feels dry, it is kind of wet underneath. But that's the best way to tell if you need to water or not. Okay, well I'm going to get started pulling up some of these weeds and things I didn't plant. Like this here is a morning glory that I don't want growing over here. This is that creeping Jenny stuff. I don't want that growing over here. This here is a maple tree right here. I don't want that growing over here. Look. Another one. Another one. They're all over the place. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. You can tell it's got some maple leaves on it. Yeah, these are all maple trees right in here. See that one? That one? That one? That's what happens when you have maple trees out front. Those maple trees. I should just get my hoe out and go along and hoe these up. That'd probably be a lot quicker. And here, this is morning glory right here. And those are more maple trees. Okay, I'm going to get my hoe out and start hoeing up some of these things. This, I don't know what kind of weed this is. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.